Okay. Is involved. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing the hair of the project. So this is gonna be the most complex part for me. I'm gonna be doing the hair and also the clothes, hopefully. And I'm gonna be watching tutorials for it as well. So that I have to make a new scene. Browser. Okay. Browser scene is like the Flinger scene. Copy. Browser. Paste. So uh it's like the Blender scene, but it's instead of this it's a browser. It's my art, I guess. Yeah, it's the pen. Yeah. So I got some stuff I need to look up on here. No poly hair. I'm just gonna snatch images real quick. Low poly hair and low poly hair and low poly clothes. And you kind of get the feeling that low poly hair and clothes are just like basically regular meshes. There's no like different techniques that you can use with them. They're regular meshes. Some people say you can use curves with them. Like streamer that I watch, Naki, he uses curves for his hair and then he turns them to meshes, I believe, or he just uses them as curves. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be trying to get the low poly clothing aesthetic down pack so I understand what I'm trying to do. I feel like let me turn on my alpaca file and then I'll be able to show you guys the clothes I'm trying to make. For alpaca, then fire alpaca file, this one, here. So one thing that I did that's like new to this file is one, I segmented the hair so we can see how the hair is supposed to be modeled. It has four parts to it. I'm just gonna write that here. Four parts. Four parts to it. And this is a part of the story that he's has. They're called limiters. One on his neck, his two on his feet, and then two on his arms as well. You can see them here. So that is also what that is. That's just story stuff. I already modeled it a while ago, so I can just use the same model. It's pretty good. It still stands to my style. So, uh, this is the hair that I'm gonna be modeling basically, in the way that I need to model it as well. So, so this is the hair. This is the hair, and I'm the hair, and I'm gonna attempt to model it. I'm the hair, gonna attempt to model it. But first, let's try and get this these normals fixed up here. Except for these. Except for those, we're gonna want to go to mesh, normals, recalculate outside. If that doesn't work, then you go mesh, normals, average corner area. That's how I get it to look a little bit more like normal now. Your normals to look normal. Anyways, but by doing that, you kind of undo the thing that we did here, that I did here. How I do that is I go here, rotate 90, here, rotate negative 90. That's how I get that sort of look. So that, or you can do rotate 90 as well. And I kind of just test with it, see how it works. And I see, okay, so it's now letting, let's remove this real quick. It's now letting more light to this side, and you can kind of see if, let's do this, and on the y-axis 90 degrees, and you can just go like this. And try and check. And I'd say that what I have to do here is average them back again, basically make them back to being normal. And then you just do rotate negative 90. You can see if that works, which it didn't. So we're going to use 180 instead. Because 180 is going to be more better for us to use. Is it 0? No, okay, you have to just go back to there. Corner area. Also do this to corner area as well. Rotate normals 180. Rotate these normals negative 180. And that's how you're able to. So it's like a little bit darker now. Now it's like has a lot different shading to it. But we want the opposite of what's happening with that right there, or the opposite of that for this side. So it's gonna be just regular 180, both on 180 then. Rotate 180. No? Okay. Now we can do that. Let's try doing it to face area, and we can just see that it's now back to being normal, basically. The normal is now back to being normal. This is exactly from this direction, so we're going to try and get the normals to act different, basically. So we want this one to light up. Actually, we want this to light up. And because of that, we're going to try and rotate this to what? 360? Nothing? Okay. I mean, yeah, it makes sense because just go back to how it is. Flip side. Say 180, 90, 45. Normals. Just trying to figure out what works best for this here. We don't want it to look so bright, but we kind of want it to do it though. And so we're just gonna do the same thing here, basically. Most rotate, just like that, and kind of do global. You can just, let's do 150 like that one. And let's lower it then. So, sorry, raise it. I'm gonna raise it a little. So you get it to be on a nice number. So that's like what, five basically? City. Feel like I could do a little bit more though. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good on that now. So if I do this, right, you're able to see what I'm talking about, like, okay. You see how when it's pointing towards it's all black like that? We don't want that. We want it to still receive direct light, basically. So, which is something that's like telling you just don't do it, like don't mess with the normals there. And that's what I'm feeling like. I feel like I could just, like, not really, like, mess with them. I might just quit that because it's not looking as good as it was last time I did it. So, yeah. Smooth. Um, can do subdiv. And subdiv makes it look really smooth like that. We also don't want that smooth feeling. We want it to not be this, like, almost silky like that. We want it to do this. We want this sort of thing. So we're trying to get this feeling of low poly anime, basically. So now we're going to. Oh, it was on Blender the entire time. I fixed the normals basically on Blender. Caption, the caption. Blender. Oh, same thing. Oof, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Blender. So I'll put this on there. Yeah. So we now have our Blender file back. I basically switched the normal planes on his face back to being regular, and that's it. So we're gonna try to we're gonna do something that I've been trying to do for a while. Basically, we're gonna go to his weight painting, the weight painting on this, and we're gonna do normalize all, and that should have fixed like some of the basic more weird problems like this the word deformation right there. I feel like it's 'cause I'm not giving enough, like the shoulder bone, like enough leeway to move around, basically. And that's gonna let me. I'm gonna basically do this, and in front, I'm going to weight paint. I'm gonna weight paint upper arm L, and upper arm R, upper arm L. I'm gonna give it some more like weights to play around with, basically. We're gonna do fall off to this basically, so it's like immediately doing that, and we're gonna allow it to take more control over some spots basically. Not that much, but some spots to give it some more control. Cool. Upper arm L gets that, upper arm R gets that very same treatment of a lot of like real estate to control basically. I think that's the best way I can explain it. That's what weight paints are. They're trying to give it like fair weight paints though, not just any weight paints. Okay, it's good now. So now when in this mode, it's not gonna deform as weirdly. It's gonna basically be allowed to move around as much as it needs to, which is kind of bad because you don't want it to move around that much. You kind of want it to move around basically, which is what is kind of telling me, just leave its weights alone, basically. Don't gotta do all of that. I'm gonna revert a lot of it, but I'm gonna bring it to here, basically. Okay, that's the most I'll give it. Oh, that's been too much on its own. That's the most I will give it, though. I'll give it some control. Okay. Um, and yeah. Okay. So now this should be good. Move around. Yeah. See that it's because of this, which I have to do this. You have to kind of actuate it like that. So I feel like this should be able to control more bones than just what it has been controlling. I mean, this right here should control more bones than what it has been controlling. But then you get something like that. So that's why I say you should just animate this separately, basically. When you are animating, if you're doing this sort of method that I'm doing, you just animate it separately. But along, like, following the rotation of the upper arm to play into the motion that you're trying to create with your animation. And that same like thing with this this shoulder bone right here, you want to do with the same methodology with the pelvis bones. Wherever the thigh bone goes, just allow it to aid into the animation when you're animating of the thigh bone. Allow the pelvis to help the thigh bone's movement look more realistic, basically. So I've been saying that we're gonna do hair this stream, and I've been avoiding it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have. So let's get to the hair. Let's get to doing the hair, Aziz. Let's do the hair, Aziz. Um, we're gonna look up some. We're gonna get some reference for the hairs. The hair, Aziz. Gonna get some reference. Um, so okay, so I'm gonna show some of the reference that I've gotten. Okay, no, need that back. So some of the most obvious reference that I have is just basically modeling it in basic forms and then putting it together and then texture painting it basically. And I have the Yuku paint add-on or the UCU paint add-on. whichever way you want to call it. So I can do that. Let me put some of the reference that I have up here on stream real quick. And for clothes, clothes are just an average nightmare basically. And it's similar with just making it and then you just parent it to the rig. Basically, you have to do weight paintings. And that's why I want to make the clothes polygons really simple so that I'll be able to just start to just weight paint directly easily without having some weird tricky really weird messy stuff to it. That's the best way I can explain it. So yeah, without having some weird stuff in it, I'm going to begin. I will begin now. I will show the reference for the clothes and the hair after I after I find the file that I had for the clothes. It's in my character folder. Can't draw on stream, but it is in there. Okay. This right here is a really good example of what I mean by the hair. And this also is a good example of the clothes and the pixel style and the texture style. I'm not gonna do pixel style, but it's a texture style that I want to do. Basically, it's like the color style, color theme almost. And um, uh, this is the sort of this is the sort of modeling style that can you guys see the screen? Let me just go stream. Okay. Let me just try and get this to work real quick. Let's just restart that whole entire process real quick. Let's also take this and let's put it like in somewhere because that is gonna mess me up ideally. Okay, so let's put this below the other ones, and there you can see me now. You can see me now. So this is a sort of example of how I'm gonna do the hair and the clothes, both of them. And this is a good example of how I'm gonna do the hair itself. Oh my god. And so this is a good example of how I'm gonna do the hair, and another example of how I'm gonna do the hair. Other examples of clothes. Okay, nothing really to show there for examples of clothes, but uh, this is how I'm gonna do the hair. This is how the character, the model, the reference that I had for this character is pretty much just this with but blue. And this is how I'm gonna do the hair and clothes. And this is my texturing style that I want to do. It's not gonna be pixel art. I'm pretty sure this is AI, which is sucky. But oh, it could be this. Could be this. Cancelled indie project not worked on at some point. Oh dang! Imagine if he kept going. Anyways, so this is the texturing style that I want to go for. I'm not good at it, but I do want to do it, and it's but not pixelated basically. So that but not pixelated. Um, one of the best things I've heard for making clothes ever is doing this. It just makes it so much more easier. Just do this. You just do this, right? Press H and it hides it. So it's all there, right? Basically it's all there. Why is that staying hidden? It's fine though, because I can just Alt H, and I can just go here, new, assign, and the alpha done. So that, and like in this, right, move to then come here as well, and do like something like that. Um, here. So it like looks weird now. So it shows that it's working, basically. Um, I can just do like basically this. Basically, what I'm trying to do is have it be invisible so that yeah, basically it's like invisible now. So that when I do the character model, it doesn't. If I accidentally, what's it called? If I accidentally show like if the clothing clips through, basically, it won't matter because you won't even see the character model in the first place. That's kind of like a little cheat that I've seen done. Not like this. It's just done. It's done way better than this, but it is a cheat that I've seen done in like other games and stuff like that. It's like kind of like thing that I've seen people in general do, which is just make the texture into nothing, and then you'll be able to. I'm pretty sure they did like background, and you can do like um sort of strength like that. I can figure out how to get a yeah like that there. That's how you do that sort of thing. And now it looks like there's nothing there. So when you're in pose mode, it's still have the geometry is still there. The geometry is still moving. But now you're able to have your clothes, and if your clothes, like I said, to clip through, you won't even be able to tell. And you can do a similar thing with the hair. And speaking of the hair, now that we have all that figured out, we're gonna start with the hairline, and also start with getting the hair down basically. So I feel like that's a good starting point to the hair, but we can also look. Oh crap! I wasn't going there. Oh man, you guys saw nothing of that. Well, it's fine. I'll just show. So what I was yapping about was this. We're doing this so that it looks invisible, basically. So that if the character's clothing clips through, it won't matter because there won't be anything to see if it does clip through, basically. And this is just a Ray Portal BSDF. And what we were doing with the hair is we're trying to figure out the hairline of the character. I feel like that's pretty good. But I want to go to the reference. I want to go to the reference, and we're gonna see where it starts, where it ends. So we're gonna actually have to define that ourselves as well. And it's like right here, basically. So it starts and ends. The actual head though is something like this. So I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do separate, and then I'm gonna grab all the vertices right here that are along that, and I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna assign them black, basically. Assign them black so that if the hair model doesn't cover enough, basically, again, you'll just have a fall safe, basically. So now we can grab these right here, proportional editing, and just do this with them. because like normally the volume of the hair is a little bit bigger than the head. So you want to just start that immediately with the model. Basically, you want to start that immediately with the model, and try proportional editing and just get that more smoother sort of hairline. And yeah, basically you want to do that. So yeah, that's gonna be the beginning of the hair model. And next we're gonna figure out how the actual 3D. Crap, I did it again. Anyways, this is how I did it. Um, yeah. So basically, I selected where I thought the hairline would be, which is like here, there. Well, that's like drawn that area basically. I turned it black so that if the hair model happened to like right here, right? It's going away from the actual hairline. So the hairline's there just as a failsafe, basically, if it does mess up. And then I made this have more of a volume than the actual head. Yeah, you can see that the actual head is right here. The actual head is right here. While the hairline, or the hair is actually right here. So you can see how that works. Thanks. Thank you for the topology tip. For the compliment. Topology. So you can see how that works with that case. And kind of scatterbrained today. Sorry, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for the hair. And now I'm going to attempt modeling the hair. A big portion of people that I see like doing hair modeling, they kind of just um they kind of just like do the model and then they basically figure out how the model's topology works, which is going to be annoying, but mildly fun at least, So you see that this is like a sort of like spike almost, I'll say, sort of spike. So like those, and that's just okay. Okay, this top part, pretty good. Pretty good now. I feel like if I do this sort of thing, it'll kind of help with the flow of the hair flow. both those, then press M to merge at center, and you can just do this now. So you then can use something like that and just grab these points right there and just kind of make it more like a 3D volume, I guess. That's the way I would say it. Make it like a 3D volume. And that's the first part of the hair done now. The very first strand of hair done on Cairo. And from that, we're gonna be able to create other strands of hair as well. Trying to place it in an area that would make sense for, thank God, for this strand right here. So that strand that I just did is the equivalent to this strand right here. Basically, that's what that strand is right there. I streamed twice today, and the first time was earlier today, and that's when I finished his base mesh, basically making the foundations for what we're doing right now with the head and all that stuff. So now that means that I have to do these claws right here. Let's just do this color right here, these claws right here, and one right there, and right there. And then obviously this one right here. So the thing that I need to make is basically these, which is gonna prove very how you say annoying. I feel like if I just like if I just like stick to it, it'll be fine, I guess. It's the best way I can explain it. Yeah, yeah, that's what that is. Let's do set origin to geometry. So it's better rotating basically. It's less of a hassle. And then we can use some other things for dealing with these right here. I mean, so that it looks like hair strands basically. And so you can see how we're like already making mesh the mesh silhouette of the front part of the hair basically. That's the best way I can say that. We can just merge this sort of thing. Um and merge these. We want to now make this a mesh, a singular mesh. Because we want to try and get the this basically. We're trying to get this like that. Is again best way I can explain it. You want to kind of have it do this sort of. I want to. Sorry, not you. I want to have this. It do this the curve like that, and have it be like this. You know what I mean? From that, we can just have kind of mess with the silhouette, so you can completely just not do that, and it'll still work. It'll still work though. So as a whole, another thing we want to do is add, protrude this part of the mesh towards it, basically. Do something like that, basically. Basically that. We definitely want some of the hair, like, supporting that, basically. Let's make a second material, just for, just for this part of the hair, basically. Just for this part of the hair. Yeah. Okay, that's gonna be good. Let's use the same, sort of, and I can see how that's coming together, basically. You can see that. Um, so, you can see how it's all, like, converging to become more and more like, the reference image. Speaking of reference image, that's where we're gotten. Oh my god, I just keep doing this thing where I'm not checking to see if the stream even sees what I'm doing. That's annoying. So let's just speed run the rest of the model, and then I'm gonna end stream there for tonight, basically. After I download it, I put down the video, and then I'm gonna just hit in for the night. I want to kind of speed run the process of doing this. The next thing that we have to do is the front of the hair, and then that's going to be duplicated twice for the back of the hair. Because the back of the hair kind of does this like this swooping thing that comes around like this. It's the same area right here. So it does the swooping thing, comes around. It's pretty similar to this doing its swooping thing over here, while this other part of the hair does that. So we're going to make um the other part of the hair, and then we're going to copy it. And I think we could do the same for the middle section as well, but I feel like, let me just try this real quick. Uh, yeah, run all these. Let's make them less pointy, because the other side of his hair isn't like that pointy, basically, for a reason. Let's give it this color. Let's kind of enlarge it, and then and flash it and like that. I think I like it, but I don't want to use it, basically. It's really finicky, and I think that I should just model it itself separately. So, I'm looking at the reference that we got, and I feel like a lot of it is heavily basing off of, like, more you making more volume instead of just more polygons in general. And yeah, I feel like that's obviously smart. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do that so that we can pull this out and just slide that back in place, you know what I mean? Oop, that. Get some more like volume and depth. So yeah, let's copy this custom made shader into this. We're gonna have it be this color. Mhm. Okay, yeah, pretty good to me. I'll just do this mesh normals average corner angle, and it's gonna look better now. Yeah. So how I do things basically. That's how I model hair now. I definitely have to give it a few more test runs, but that's looking like how I model hair. Like it's gonna be the way that I model my hair from now on, basically. I feel like I can do this sort of thing. Work on the blender. So yeah, feel more full, more active, as it is just a few strands, technically. So yeah, that's what we're basically just gonna be doing for the blender, for the hair, at least. For the white side of his hair. Let's try to see how it looks as black. Ooh, it looks nice in black. Just here not black though. I kind of get Yeah. Sorry, I went all silent there. But that's how I do my. That's how I do the hair for this model, at least. I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do clothes or the other side of the hair today. I'm most likely gonna stop stream now, actually. But I also want to hint at how we're going to do this in the first place, which is with sculpting, because that's the only way that I know of how to do hair at this sort of. We can just do Teletubby. That's the only way I know how to do hair at this sort of level, especially in the way that we're trying to, you know. Basically, gonna do all this, and I'm just gonna remesh it all, basically. So you see all that now, right? And now we're gonna remesh that smooth, on the smooth, with less. Let's do like that. I'm seeing that, I definitely can straight up do something like that, definitely can. Now we're gonna smooth out most of this, I'm gonna smooth out a lot of this actually. Give yourself, some better geometry to work with in the first place. But, you definitely want to conserve the amount of geometry that you're even using, and um, grab all these spikes. You can kind of lower the octave, and you're gonna see that sort of happening. And this is the reason why I'm doing this is so I can get reference on what not to do, basically. To get reference on what not to do when modeling. So you see how it looks nice like that. You kind of don't want that sort of what is it here? I don't want that sort of shape basically going on. It's like that. Shift D, and then you do separate, which is like Control P, I believe, and then you can just do this. You can do solidify. I would say do solidify. So I just get like average hair thickness better. You then can take all of this, and you can assign it to that. Assign. Yeah. So yeah, so the hair is pretty much done. I have to do the front part, this middle section here, this middle section up here, and the middle section down here, and then the tail part here where it like wraps around. But that's all I'm gonna be doing for today's stream. Also, thank you, Watermelon. Watermelon. That's so cool that you chatted. But yeah. Yeah. Bye!